Okay, you can't see me. This is you, no, see me. Okay, what can't you see? Um, Vibrations. When I'm talking about these kind of vibrations, they are the vibrations that people give off when they are energizing an idea. If you are really good at intuition, you pick up on vibrations from other people, and your intuition tells you what your intuition tells you. But the information that the intuition gets from it doesn't come from it, like there's no information. There is information that is traveling from one person or a group of people to another person or another group of people. Everyone knows intuition is real. So there is you can't see it. You can't see the information, but you can feel it. And if you've got good intuition, you'll pick up on the vibes and you'll process it here and you'll know. So, what else do we want to talk about? It means that ideas in one person's mind or a group of people's mind, a hive mind, a mastermind group, those ideas are sending out vibrations. And other people can pick up on them if they've got good intuition and they've how do you get good intuition? Well, some people say women have better intuition, women's intuition. I don't know if it's true, if women have better intuition than men, but in the olden days, that's what men would say when, women seemed to just have women's intuition. It was women's intuition and it was known and men couldn't explain it because they were very left-brained and rational. Anyway, that's what I want to talk about. So, well, what other ways do we move information from one person to another? Where do these ideas come from in the first place? I thought it up. Some people think that ideas originate inside the human head, in the brain. If you study great inventors like Nikola Tesla, who worked a lot with alternating current and generators, if you look into how Tesla got this information, I suppose he thunk it up, is how you would put it. But he got visual pictures. So was it his brain that created visual pictures out of nothing at all? Or was he accessing, by telepathy, consciousness fields that hold ideas? I'm going to go with consciousness fields. You can go back to Plato, who talked. I'm not an expert in this, and I could be wrong. But Plato talked about what we can now call Platonic solids. And it came from somewhere. So I guess I'll have to do homework to look up Plato to see where he thought this information came from. But I think it was consciousness itself. And then if Plato says it came from somewhere else, well, that's Plato. But I'm saying it's coming from consciousness fields. And the reason I like consciousness fields is because we all know magnetic fields, an electromagnetic spectrum. And we know about, what else was the other thing? And then there's also the work by Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, who talks about morphogenic fields or morphic fields, which are fields that are used to create physical things. So, in essence, what we have is that's how you get things into your mind that comes from consciousness fields. Ideas come from consciousness fields And then your mind is like a great radio receptor or television receiver, receives these things, tunes into the right consciousness field to get the idea, and then you select it, and then you hold it in mind, and you work with the idea. Maybe what you do is you write it down in words, or you type it into your computer in words, or maybe it's a picture and you draw it by hand, or you use a computer to help you get an image. And then that idea you can pass on to some other person. So you're using a physical medium. A computer is a physical thing, or a piece of paper, or blueprint. So it's a physical thing to take the idea that you got in your head from the source fields. Consciousness fields are also known as source fields. You got that, and then you put it onto a physical medium, and you pass it on to another person. So that's one way that you can do that. I mean, you could physically talk and record it like I do to get it to other people in a video format, but I'm using a physical device, this smartphone, and the internet to get it to you. But this is how I first got the idea, and then I jotted it all down on paper so I could make this video for you. So I want to go into the next topic, and I've got a few minutes. Okay, the next topic is, what about our actual human body? It should follow the same scenario. That is, our divine blueprint for our physical body should be found as an idea in consciousness, an idea in source fields, an idea in morphic fields. And then the question that I had, and this is another one that I wrote down. My next question is, do we need DNA or not? In other words, do we have to have physical things inside our cells to hold the blueprint that is in consciousness fields? The question is, where are consciousness fields? Magnetic fields, if you have two magnets, you can feel the magnetic fields of the two magnets. Consciousness fields, where are they stored? Are they stored in the brain? Are they cellular memory that's in the brain or in the body? Or are they out in the air? Are they stored somewhere in the planet? Are they stored in outer space? Are they stored in other dimensions that we can't see? Some of the teachers about morphic things, like Stuart Wilde, said they are in another sort of dimension he called the etheric. Does it matter? Well, I think it does matter that we figure out where this information is stored. It's very important. So anyway, this is the interesting thing, is like, do we really have DNA that is doing something? Or is DNA, why do we need it? That's, I guess, the whole point. If there's consciousness fields that are holding the divine blueprint for a human body, why do we need DNA at all? It seems like an extra step. What is the physical? If you are Isaac Newton back in, 1700, the physical is matter. Solid matter, and matter is pretty much dead unless it is, it's people or animals or plants, in which case the matter is, I don't know if Isaac Newton really got into the relationship between dead matter and living matter. In chemistry, we've got organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry, and that's how you separate the two things. If it's organic chemistry, it has to do with carbon chemistry, and it has to do with life. Is everything made of carbon living? No. No one considers diamond to be living. I know someone that does think that diamond crystals are living, but I don't want to go into it that way because it's too broad of a horizon. But let's just say for now that diamonds are not considered to be living by most humans. Most humans are incorrect about most things. Just remember that. But what is the physical? If you were talking about modern day science, quantum something, or I don't know what it is in string theory. But if you go back to, let's go back to the Middle Ages. So I don't know, let's go, what is the Middle Ages? Is it 1500? The year 1500, is that Middle Ages? Maybe, let's go with 1500. What did they say in those days? Physicality was, everything was spirits. So I really want to jump back to the idea of spirits in 1500 because it works better, because most people that were the experts when they were talking about quantum physics, they said if you really understand quantum physics, then you don't understand it. And I think the point that I'm trying to make is it's when you keep looking at subatomic things, and then there's debate as to whether they're real or not, you might as well call it spirit. Is it real or not? It's a better term. I mean, going back to spirit is better than trying to call it, subatomic particle. At one time they said atoms were the smallest thing that there were, but they keep, going into smaller and smaller pieces. And then is it really a thing or not? Who said that? I don't know, but it's something that came across my desk. So if it's, if you can keep breaking it down to smaller and smaller things and debate whether the thing is a thing in itself or not, might as well go back to calling it spirit. So, which means that our physicality, physical matter, Isaac Newton 1700, and quantum physics brings us back to 1500, where we call it's just spirit. So, what does that mean? Well, back in those days, everything had to do with religion, I suppose, and, the belief in how things come about. Well, it was created by divine God. And so everything here is an extension of the divinity. And humans have got a certain amount of leeway to play with what the divinity has provided us. We have a parent choice to do kind things to others, or horrible, nasty, slavery kind of things, torturous things to others. So, and all the different ideas that we get, to be kind is a consciousness field, and a different consciousness field is horrible things that we do to one another. And if you look at the scale of human consciousness, which is readily available, you can see low things on the scale of consciousness are doing horrible things to one another. And as you rise higher and higher on the scale of human consciousness, it becomes kinder and kinder. So, I don't know, what else do we want to talk about? Maybe that's enough for now.